Hello there. My name is Lynnea Luebben, and I have been a teacher here with VIPkid now for just over 4 years. It has been an amazing journey. I still remember when I first took that initial step. We had just come to the United States and back from Germany. I'm originally from the States, but we'd been living in Germany for the last 4 years, and I had been an ESL teacher there, teaching children and adults. And I wasn't quite sure what to do. It was obvious that my family needed us to stay. There was a lot of things going on. We had kind of come home for a small family emergency. And I found this ad for VIPkids, and I clicked on it on Facebook, of all things, and the rest is history, as they say. So we'll be talking a little bit about history, and just to let you know that I feel that you're probably in good hands today during the workshop. I am a mother of four. I've taught them through my entire life, both traditionally as well as through Montessori and charter schools. I also have had several foreign exchange students, but besides that, I am a Montessori educator. I have my Master's of Education in Montessori and my Bachelor's of Education in Traditional Education, Classical Education. And so my mother was a teacher. Many people in my life have been teachers. And so it's kind of ingrained in me that this is where my heart is. A long time ago, I would say to my education students, because I used to be a teacher trainer at the college, that teaching is kind of something that's here, okay? It's a heart thing. So I always tend to work at everything kind of first with the heart, and we move out. And we'll be talking a little bit in maybe some other workshops about the importance of creating relationship with students. But one of the best ways that you can do that is through making your lessons engaging. And as students get older, some of us may be a little bit unsure about how to teach them, especially depending on our background. Maybe we've never taught older students. Maybe we're used to working with the younger students. I want to say, don't be afraid, okay? Because it's really all about giving them roots so you can give them wings. And this is an opportunity for you to really start engaging them. I guarantee you they are hungry, 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 hungry for learning, and the different types of learning styles that you may be presenting to them as an American teacher. I'm on several different Facebook groups, and one of the things that I read one time that was a little bit upsetting is that, oh, this is just extra. You know, it's just all about just being fun. While it is about being fun, teaching never stops, okay? Because you never know where that child has a place that they need to fill up that cup with. And so we want to model good teaching methods, we want to model good teaching styles, and we want to model. So every moment offers up an opportunity for a teachable moment. And this is an opportunity, especially with level 7 students, which is where I really started to fall in love with the VIPkid process, is that you have that opportunity to start to talk about what I call the great stories. And it reminded me a little bit of Montessori with the initial level 7s, and only those people maybe that top level, the early level 7 before we got into the new program, remember what it was. We had the stuff about Greece and Romans and things like that, and it was interesting. I love all of it right now, but I do have a fondness for that past. So one of the things that I will be showing you today is some of my early attempts at videos when I was coming forward with the fact that I would like to teach level 7s. So I'll be showing you some past videos, and I hope that you enjoy them. Just know that things are a little simple at the beginning because it was towards the beginning of my teaching career with VIPkid. The other thing I want to set up is the parameter of how we're going to handle discussion. So one of the things that you will find is, as a teacher, and as a human being, I'm an empath. So I take in a lot of information, and sometimes too much information can be overwhelming for me. So I might ask you to hold your questions until the end. You can write them down. This is a good time to have a notepad and pencil. Write down your questions, and we will have a question and answer session. I will have you put your name in with your question, and I will take them in the order that they came in at the end. And I might ask you to respond with a 1 for yes, with a 2 for no, okay, in the chat. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, and let's begin. So we'll be talking a little bit about history, and one of the things that I found that's really, really important in the VIPkid training course is how to use the dictionary. I wish they had a thesaurus. That's something that I've not seen yet, just a strictly basic thesaurus, because it's important to build that word vocabulary. But I'm going to be pulling up something that was from the original level 7s, which is historical records. And so I have some old videos to show you. I hope they come through okay. So I'm going to go ahead and play those for you now, okay? And I hope that you can hear them. So here is video 1.
A historical record. Yes, something that comes from history. What is history? Yes, something that comes before. That's correct. What we know about words is that words have roots. For example, the root of historical is history. History. It also has a suffix, which we have ical, and this has to do with having to do with. So historical records having to do with history. Records having to do with history. So this is a little bit about the word we're talking about, which will lead us into our next word, which is archaeology. Archaeology is a word that comes in parts. It has roots and suffixes. So let's look at archa. Archa has to do with ancient, something way back in the past. Ology has to do with the study of. So we would have archaeology. Now there are ways to talk about archaeology, and those have to do with some new vocabulary: tablet, cuneiform, inscription, and seal. And I'll show you just a few of those today. So let's start first with the tablet. In the past, this is how we used to record history, was with the tablet. This is a tablet, and written on it is cuneiform.
Okay, so this was video 1, and this is actually part of a 3-part video series that I did on historical records, and we'll get into the teaching aspect of that a little bit more. But one of the things I wanted to point out is something that's very interesting about language is this. Language has only so many roots. Language has only so many prefixes and only so many suffixes. So learning those types of things, learning prefixes and suffixes especially, is like giving a key to your student to the language. It's like the codex, like a national treasure, if any of you ever watched that. This is a way to understand a language. And the root of the word not only has a weight with it about that word, but the history of that word. Where did that word come from? In the new level 7s, there's a little bit that shows where the word potion came from. And potion has traveled from India all the way over into the upper European area, and it traces that discovery through that. And kids are fascinated by that. They're absolutely fascinated about that. But how do they become fascinated about that? It requires you to be the conduit for that fascination. And so this is where we really have to engage our students and give them an opportunity to learn something outside of the box. So I will come back to this second video here. We'll go ahead and watch this for a little bit. I won't show the third video right now. We'll take a look at it a little later. So here is the second video.
Hello, this part is the instructional part for working with level 7 students. One of the things that's important is when you set up your vocabulary. My vocabulary for this unit would be several pieces. First, it would be historical records showing roots and suffix. And second would be the vocabulary that we would be discussing, which would be tablet, cuneiform, inscription, and seal. Besides having the vocabulary present, I should have several tools to teach that. For instance, I should use things like the tablet, pictures of a tablet, and talk a little bit about what that is. Now, how could we make a connection to the students' lives? Well, the students use a form of a tablet almost every day, but this tablet is not on clay and it's not written with cuneiform. So using tools like this, something that's tangible and touchable, as well as having pictures. The other thing that I have is pictures of inscriptions. This is an inscription that shows a little bit about a woman that helped fund the mission during the time in Galilee, and it tells about those live records. The other picture I have is pictures of seals, which recorded who signed for what or who owned what. So these are things that you can show for your students. Now, the other thing that I also have is I have a piece on gardens, which shows how we can use pieces from the past. How could we study about how gardens were, what type of plants were? So having those pictures and utilizing them over the whole span of the lesson unit is important. Also using things such as this. We have two pieces, archaeology, and showing them archae means ancient, ology means study of. These they can journal about and write about daily or talk about with their friends and family so they have a chance to talk about their ideas. Thank you.
So just like I did right here where we were talking about journaling and being able to journal, this would be a good opportunity coming up in the next few minutes when we take a break for you to journal down some of your questions or thoughts that may have come up, because we'll go ahead and we'll discuss a little deeper. And I would like you, before you write, to take a little stop and think time. This is something I try to encourage my students to, is to stop, let the information formulate or percolate in your brain, and then write it down. There's no hurry right now. So I'm going to bring up the front screen again. I'm going to play a little music, let you write down some of your thoughts, and we'll talk a little bit more after the break. Now, before we do that, I want to let you know, especially when you're working with level 7, there's a lot of times where they have that presentation, and it's almost every single lesson, and they have to present at least a paragraph. If they have not done this, I give them a minute to collect their thoughts. I even turn off my video. I go to my Minicam front screen and my mic, and I let them have that quiet time to formulate their thoughts. Formulating information is important. So without further ado, I'm going to let you get to that, and I will talk to you again in a few minutes after the break.